One of the easiest classes to start with is Vagabond. I also like to start with the Crimson Amber Medallion. It gives you an extra HP bonus, so it gives you a little bit more life, so you don't die quite as quickly. So the Vagabond class, you start off with a shield and a sword. The first thing you want to do is run over here, pick up this tarnished wizened finger. You'll need that a little bit later in the game. Go through the door, and you'll see all these messages that you can read. They're messages left by other players. A lot of times, they're going to tell you to do something that you don't want to do. The first thing you really want to do if you want to get a quick start is get to the church, exit this area, down the stairs. It's kind of hard to see. You're going to run into some kind of, I think like a spider boss or something, once you get to the center here. Don't worry too much about beating him. You probably won't your first try. He's just a lot stronger than you. But it just kind of gives you an idea how the game works. So after you take on the spider, you're going to wake up in this cave. And you're going to get the flask of Crimson Tears. And then the other flask is for your magic. But the Crimson Tears gives you health. When your health is low, you use that. Cerulean Tears. That's your mana, your magic points. You can jump down the Cave of Knowledge. It gives you an idea about learning the controls. If you want to do it, fine. It's totally not necessary to do, though. I'm going to skip it. You're going to run into this Site of Grace. You want to find and touch every Site of Grace. You use these grace areas to rest, replenish your potions, and also level up some of your abilities and skills. The graces are very important. So you can rest at the Site of Grace. That replenishes your health. You're going to have a lot of other options on this left-hand side as you progress through the game. And then you can allocate, depending on what type of player you are, allocate to what you want. I'm going to go full health flasks for now at the start of the game. And pretty much every time you see something like this, a little glowing thing, you want to pick up the remains. We got a finger severer and a tarnished furled finger. Those are for calling co-op mode and things like that. You want to step on the center here, and that takes you out of here. So now we're in Limgrave. First thing you want to do is grab this grace, and you can see there's a little glowing thing that tells you what way to go. And then on the map, it kind of points you in the direction. It's pretty helpful, but it's kind of an open world, so you don't necessarily need to follow that path. And then we've got our first NPC here. You want to talk to him, and then you want to keep talking to him until they start repeating themselves, and that will generally progress the quest throughout the game. Another thing you want to do, every time you see something like that, you want to pick it up because you can sell it for runes, or you can use it to make certain potions. All very important. Helps you level, gets you different potions, and then summoning pools. Those help you summon other players. It opens up the ability in certain areas. Now, the first thing you'll see is you want to go to that church right there, but you've got this boss in the way. If this is your first time playing, even if it's not, there's a good chance that you're not going to be able to beat this guy at all. So what you want to do is kind of run around him to get to that church. And to run, you just hold down the B button, and that does your sprint. And just kind of circle around him. And that'll take you to the church here. You see the little gold thing that's kind of telling you you want to progress to over here. See the grace. All right, and now every grace that you've touched, I like to rest at them too after you touch them. And then you can go to your map, and you can fast travel to any grace that you've discovered. Got our smithing table. That's important. You want to save up all your smithing stones. That's so that you can upgrade your weapons and armor. And then we've got our first vendor here. They have these vendors throughout the game. You can buy different items from the different vendors. This first guy here, when you get some money, you'll want to buy a torch. You can get the telescope as well. Crafting kit. That's another important one. You definitely want to get the crafting kit. But right now, we have no money. After we talk to this guy and exhaust his dialogue, we're going to want to get some runes. Runes are what you use to buy items, but you also use runes to level up your character. All right, so no new dialogue. So we're going to head out and try and get us some runes. Best way to do that, kill some bad guys. So we're going to head to the north here, to this area over here. And we're going to do some gathering. Early in the game, you want to do a little more sneaking. You do that by clicking down the left stick. And then click the right stick, and that will target them. Sneak up on them, and then tap the right bumper, and that does a sneak attack. It's very powerful. You can see, takes them out one shot. We got some bolts, which are for your crossbow. If you pick one up, you can also sell them if you don't want to use a crossbow right away. We got Roa fruit. You want to pick up as much of that as you can. And just kind of sneak around and taking these guys out in this area. And pick up any of this glowing stuff you see. Got some throwing knives. And you get runes every guy you take out. You see we already have 200 runes. We've only taken on a couple guys. Then you also have a powerful attack that's right trigger. I'll show you something cool later on about the powerful attack. There's a way using the powerful attacks to where you can stun the other guys. It takes out their normal shield and it stuns them to where you can do an even more powerful attack. All right, there we go. Taking these guys out. I want to go to the left over here until you come to a cave. And we're just taking these guys out. Already up to pick up some mushrooms. And you come to this cave. And we've got another grace. Whenever you touch a grace, all of the bad guys that you took out, they come back. It's like resetting the world pretty much. But we don't want to do this cave yet. We're going to come back to it in a little bit. But you do want to grab the grace and rest at it. And then go back to taking these guys out. You can see we got this grace. It's just pretty much straight north of the church. And head up the road, and there's going to be another grace over, I think it's a little more over here that we want to get. You'll see these little glowing areas on your map. You want to go to those, and there's going to be a little glowing fragment, and that'll get you a map fragment, and it'll actually uncover the map area, and it'll show you a little more detail as to what's in the area. While you're crouched, you can hold the B button, and that makes you crouch. Sneak quickly. Sometimes you'll hear kind of an odd, like, high-pitched sound, and that's these little balls. When you see the red ones, that's going to replenish your potions when you get one of these crimson ones. And then there's some white ones, which give you ashes, which is a special spell that we'll go over later. So after we've taken out some of these guys, we'll continue on along the trail. See that path from the church. And you'll see this little town, but you'll avoid that for now. Kind of sneak off to the left here. And you'll see another grace over by this gate. Touch the grace. And we'll rest at it. And we should get our horse here. So when you get your grace, you get this cutscene, and you're going to talk to this spirit character. All right, so you accept. All right, there we go. We got our spectral steed whistle. That's going to be your mount. Yeah, torrent is very important. So you want to put torrent in your pouch here. To do that, you hit the start button, go over to the right. You'll want to assign the spectral steed whistle. Hold the Y button wherever you assign the whistle. Just click it. And there you go. Now you got your mount. And now it should be nighttime. So you're going to want to fast travel, back to the Church of Ella. So now that it's nighttime, you want to talk to this ghost over here. And since you have your horse, you tell him you have your spectral steed. And that gives you a spirit calling bell. Your first spirit is going to be Lone Wolf Ashes. And these spirits will help you through certain boss fights and areas where you have a hard time getting through. You can call these spirits. Some people say it's cheating. You know what? It's part of the game. I think it's totally fine. You're having trouble. Call the spirits. Don't even worry about it. So yeah, you just exhaust the dialogue to progress things. She's gone. You should have a little bit of money at this point. So we'll go back to him. Sell what we don't need. I'm going to sell pretty much everything I have at first. Except the smithing stones. You definitely want to keep those. One other thing to keep in mind with your equipment. We're going to unassign halberd. One thing that's important, on the right-hand side, you'll see equipment load. You need to be below 70% of your max carrying capacity, and that will keep your equipment load to medium. You can see, assigning that puts your equipment load to heavy. That significantly hinders your dodging and your mobility. So we want to keep that at medium. And then we're going to for sure want to buy a torch, crafting kit. We have some extra money. We don't have enough for the telescope. We can get that later. So what I like to do next is go back to the Gatefront Ruins. And there's going to be some items around here that you want. You'll see this guy right in the middle here patrolling. You want to stay away from him early on because you can see he has that little horn in his hand or on his side to the right. If you alert him, he'll blow his horn, and then everyone in this town will attack you. So you kind of want to stay away from him. And then just kind of sneak around the outside here. Now, with combat, you got your shield here. Every time he hits your shield, it takes away some stamina. And once your stamina goes down to 0, then you're not going to be able to block anymore. Also, once he hit, it knocks him back, and that opens it up to where you can counterattack. I'll pick up everything they've... Oh, got a bat here. Got a jump attack here. That's usually pretty effective. It does good damage. Go. I think there's one more bat. Ah, golden rune. So we got a golden rune. Golden runes are very important. Each golden rune gives you 400 runes, and then there are higher level runes that you get that give you even more, but 400 runes is pretty good. I think there's some lesser ones that give you just 200 maybe. And then we took out an enemy group, so that replenishes your potions. Also early on, you'll see these little glowing skulls. Crack them open, and you'll get more golden runes from those. All right, I think that guy dropped a piece of gear. Let's see if it's better. Not really. Yeah, so we'll keep the gear we have. But this is a good area to get runes and upgrade your gear a little bit. The first tricky area is going to be on this side of the Gatefront Ruins. You'll need to take out a group of those guys, and there's a patrol, and then they've got some wolf pets. So you got to be careful around here. See, here he comes. He saw us. You just kind of want to bait him over here. So you can kind of bait his wolf first. There we go. Get your shield ready. Then take him out. Take out the wolf. Just be careful you don't alert too many of these guys. Also, there's this guy patrolling. Yeah, we got this guy, and then we've got this second patrol. He's more powerful. He's kind of like an elite mob. We'll just kind of avoid him for now. And you want to go down. See if that guy heard us. No. I want to go down the stairs, and there'll be a chest in this area. Get a whetstone knife. That'll let you upgrade your weapons. The first one you can get is War Stomp. That's I believe that's just like a knockback ability. Once you're out of grace, you can use that to upgrade a weapon. So after you do this, I like to just kind of stay on the outskirts. We're going to kind of bait this elite guy, let him see us, and pull him away from some of the other mobs. At this point in the game, he's a little tough to take out. to start off with something like that. Hit the circle to dodge away from him. Do a little jump attack. That knocks him a little bit, but not for long. Yeah, he is not easy early on. Oh, got him barely. We're all out of potions. Sometimes that elite guy will drop some pretty good gear, so it's not a bad idea to farm him and farm the guys in this area. We'll go ahead and rest. And we'll level up. So we've got 1,300 runes. Vigor, that does your health. Mind, that does your magic. So the more FP you have, the more magic you have. Endurance, you can carry more, and you have higher stamina, so you can block more. Strength, that gives you more damage with items that use strength. It also allows you to equip different items that have that requirement. Intelligence, faith, that's more for magic items. So early on, vigor is very important. Strength can be pretty important, and endurance is very important as well. And now that we've rested, got all our flasks back, and for a few levels, you can just kill mobs around here, take on that guy, try and get some upgraded gear. He does have some good gear, but it's not a bad idea just to kind of grind mobs around here and try and level up. And remember earlier, we got this little tower. We're going to try and sneak up and get that map fragment, but you got to be very careful. Hide in the bushes here, because we've got this guy. He alerts everybody, and then you've got that elite boss, or elite mob. It's just a stronger mob. Sneak around and pick up our map. Now you can see it reveals this entire area here, which is Limgrave. The one thing you can do, if you're sneaky enough, just keep taking out the guys on the outside till you're a little more comfortable with how the combat works. What should we do? Endurance, strength. I think for now, we're going to do vigor. Early on, vigor is a really good attribute to level up, because you can see that gives you more health points, hit points, whatever it's called in this game. All right, we're toast. We're done. So when you die, you want to go to your last grace visited, and you want to go to where you died and pick up your runes. We died really close to the grace here. Pick your runes up, and that way you don't really lose any progress. Oh yeah, I've forgotten this area. I think you open this and you get a chest. So you want to keep an eye out for hidden stuff like that. Oh, that thing's kind of cool. Flail. It's like a little mace. So you can see here, we need to get our dexterity up to 18 to be able to use something like this. Okay, now that you've done a little farming, you've leveled yourself up a little bit, you've got a good idea of how to do the combat, you want to head back to the Groveside Cave. Once you're here, the first thing you want to do is assign your Lone Wolf Ashes to your pouch. So you're at the cave, you've assigned your torch, it's a little dark in here, you can use your torch to look around, and you'll see some wolves down there. We're going to avoid those for the moment. And we're going to use up all of our runes. Level up. We've got all our vigor there. But what we're going to do is we're going to run down. Going to stay to the right. And we're going to run all the way to this mist here. And we're going to traverse the mist. And this is Beastman of Farum Azula. So this is going to be your first boss. And with bosses, best thing to do is kind of figure out their pattern at first. He does that 3 thing and a big slam. Get a couple hits on him. Dodge. Whoops. Want to dodge. And you want to try and fight this guy just so you learn how to fight bosses. There's this big slam. Just try and learn his patterns. Get some shots in when you can. See if we can get a big one on him. If you get enough big shots, sometimes you can stun him. There we go. And then you get a huge hit on him. So the big jump hits are very important for beating some of these guys. Make sure your stamina's up. It's almost down. Uh-oh. Okay. There we go. All right. We took him out. Oh, there we go. We got a talisman there. That's a fire resist talisman. If you have any trouble with that boss, don't hesitate to, as soon as you traverse the mist, hold down the Y button and call your wolves, and this guy will be a piece of cake.